Hi, everybody, and welcome to this webinar. Let me tell you, I am so excited about this year. I'm going to be 75 years old in 2 weeks, and I can't believe I'm doing webinars. It's just fascinating what everything is, but this is going to be really great. And what you want to do is I'd like all of you, I'd suggest that you all have a pad and pen handy so you can write down notes and everything. But you're also going to get, within a couple of days, a link for the recording so you can listen to it in your leisure. And you can pause it when you want to pause it, etc. Some of you are just great with the responses I've been getting. But it'll be worth your while to really stay towards the end, because I'm going to introduce John Davern again to go over the VA talent offer that he has, because all this, you're better off being out there making sales than doing these prospecting programs here that I'm showing you. But it's up to you. I mean, if you see the results, you're going to really want to do it all the time. And so I want to just say to everybody, thanks for coming to this webinar. And I'm going to go over 3 strategies here that have created 20 new prospects per month in using LinkedIn and doing the things that have to be done. But anyway, here's a little bit about my bio. Again, I'm not going to bore you with it. Those of you who are new to me and want to learn a little bit about me, you could just pause the thing right now and then read it. I'm just going to continue going on. But anyway, why LinkedIn is a goldmine for prospecting? I mean, people use LinkedIn to maintain their professional identity, make useful contacts, search for opportunities, and stay in touch. I don't know if you know, but 4 out of 5 LinkedIn members drive the business decisions. So when you communicate with 4 out of 5 individuals on LinkedIn, they're the business decision makers. And then 39% of the members are senior level executives or above. I mean, that's incredible. But 28% of members are responsible for managing their budgets. So whatever you have to offer, they can fit into their budget. But LinkedIn members really are active, influential professionals in a business frame of mind. I mean, they use LinkedIn to learn about new products and services and keep up with industry trends. They research various companies that they want an introduction to, etc. They network with peers, and they conduct a lot of business together. But to me, LinkedIn reaches a very unique audience. 83% of LinkedIn users do not visit Pinterest. 59% of LinkedIn users don't visit Google. 58% of LinkedIn users don't visit Twitter. Tell that to Donald. Anyway, 13% of LinkedIn users do not visit Facebook. I mean, these are fascinating figures and all. But the buying power index, I mean, this is a powerful network with over 400 million professionals who are also consumers. Recent studies show LinkedIn members have the highest buying power compared to other social networks. Now, that's critical. Just look at the buying power between the other social networks. Understanding your connections and effect on your ability to communicate in LinkedIn. You know, you got first-degree levels, second-degree levels, and third-degree levels. Our whole concept on everything I try to show you to do is how to get our second degrees and third degrees to send us an acceptance connection request and become our first degree. Because when they become your first degree, you now have access to their personal data. And this is important. And you can contact them whenever you wish, simply by sending a message on LinkedIn. But there's some key strategies to help you convert LinkedIn connections into prospects. You want to optimize your LinkedIn profile. The key areas are your headline, which is to draw something immediately to read further, summary, contact info, experience, and job description. and then you want to build your first level connections, and you want to join various LinkedIn groups, and you want to create your own LinkedIn group. Keep your profile alive and engaging. You're going to learn additional techniques that are going to blow your mind right now. The first one I want to go over, in previous webinars, I covered connection with messages with others in LinkedIn. Once someone accepts your connection request on LinkedIn, we normally send them a connection message. Is somebody on there, John, or somebody's not muted?
Not that I can tell. Let me just double check. Okay.
All right, but anyway, once someone accepts your connection request on LinkedIn, we send them a connection acceptance thank you message in which you thank them for connecting with you, and I covered that in my previous webinar. Now, in the future, with all the changes on LinkedIn, we're going to redo those two webinars, that the webinar on accepting connection requests, and I'll bring you up to date on that. But as a next step, you should endorse your connections. And again, everything I show you is so that you have more and more opportunity to communicate with that connection request member, so that you can now either set up an appointment with them, meet with them, but again, it's to communicate with them. So to access your connections, in order to send the endorsement connection, you want to click on My Network on the top of your page. Then you want to click on where it says See All. All right? So in other words, when you click on My Network, it'll display the number of connections you have, which is 6,058 here, invitations you've received, and people you may know suggested recommendations. So you want to click on See All. Now what you do is you click on where it says Recently Added, click on Recently Added, and now it's going to list the individuals who you recently added. What I normally do is I normally have a sheet of paper where I mark down the last person. So I would put down, in this situation, the first one on top, and that will tell me that tomorrow when I go into sending the endorsements out, that I'll get these in right away, and I'll know where to start and where it ends. So in this situation, I would click on Francisco Camacho. When that happens, you'll need to scroll down to get their featured skills and endorsement section. You see them right down there? And you could click on any of the plus signs, and it'll change it to the check sign. So click on as many as you can. And again, the whole concept is to get them to respond. You're going to repeat this process with the rest of your recently added connections. You click on My Network on top, and then it goes to See All, and then now you got Martin Zilwig. And let's say Sergi, let's say you only had 4 today. So you would put down, I would put down, if you had Sergi was the last one, you do everything to Brad. Now, when it comes to Don Roberts, I would write Don Roberts' name on top of Sergi's name. This way I know tomorrow when I look at this, I'll see how many new connections I've got up to Don Roberts. So just keep it on a record on a sheet of paper, or you could do an Excel spreadsheet to do that. But you select the next and repeat the process that I just went over. All right, the connections you endorse will receive a notification from LinkedIn that they've been endorsed by you. All right, now if you look on the top right-hand side where it says notifications, it'll say we've received 1. They will be able to see the notification that you're sending them right there. And a certain number of connections that you endorse will send you a thank you message back for endorsing them. and they'll say thanks for the endorsement. So they just click on thanks for the endorsement. This opens the door for additional communication again that you want. So when you get the message, it'll say thank you for endorsing me for payroll or whatever the endorsements were that you checked off. Now in your top level menu, you'll see a notification of a new message. Can you see it over here on the top right? All right, it says messaging. So what you do now is you click on the message, then click on the message to respond, and down below you click on there and you just copy and paste your endorsement message. So just write this out, or you can pause it to write it when you get the link. And it's hi Jane or hi Nikos. The endorsement was my pleasure. The greatest endorsement I can give you would be a referral. Please let me know who your ideal referral would be. That's the message you're going to send out, copy and paste to them. So you just type that into a Word document, and what you'll do is to have the document where you can just copy and paste and go into that like an automatic machine goes into it. Now the endorsement can be seen on the profile page by scrolling down to the feature skills and endorsement section of your profile. You could click on any of your listed skills to see which you've endorsed, which has endorsed you for that skill. You could also add a new skill if you want to give others skills. So you want to click on me, go to view profile, and then just click on leadership. And when you click on leadership, what's going to happen is that it's going to list the individuals that have endorsed you for that. Now, by default, all the endorsements are visible, but you could slide the button from to the left to make the endorsement from a particular person not visible. I would leave all of mine on there if I was you. So, I just went over the endorsement letter, and again, it's designed to develop more mechanisms for people to respond to you so that the door is open. And again, it's the law of reciprocity. Those of you who purchased my first module 1 will understand where I'm coming from on it. But it's the law of reciprocity means that if you do something for an individual, they feel obligated to do things in return for you. So it's important that we do that. But now I want to go over the birthday message. In order to get to the birthday message, you should click on notifications. Do you remember in the old setup, we used to go into My Network, and then there were 9 pictures, and you could do the birthdays that way, or you could do contacts, congrats that way. Now with the new format, what you have to do is click on notification. All right? Now, on the bottom left, it says, see who's celebrating. And when you click on that, it shows you who is having a birthday that you can communicate with. So you click on see who's celebrating and say happy birthday. This will show notifications of anyone in your network who has started a new position, is having a work anniversary, is having a birthday, or if they like one of your postings or commented on your group conversations. It's so very, very important that you have that. But in this case, we want to message those with upcoming birthdays. And if multiple connections are having a birthday on the same day, click see who's celebrating, and you'll click on say happy birthday. So when you click on say happy birthday, this is what's going to happen. So you click on say happy birthday, and now you could either, the generic one is coming up by default, all right? I personally have my own, which I've gone over with a lot of you, and it's just basically, I would like to wish you a happy birthday. The greatest birthday gift I can give you would be a referral. Please let me know who your ideal referral would be. And then you just click on send, and it goes out. Now, after you click happy birthday, that's when you're starting to build a relationship with them. Most of the time, you'll get a message from them telling you who their ideal referral would be. And you now want to send them a message telling them when you see someone like that, you will refer them to them. All right? Or you could go to their profile and under contact and personal info, see where it says show more? It's the down arrow. If you click on that, you're going to get their email address, their phone number. All right? And when you click on show more, you're going to be able to say all that. And but what I would do is when you give them a call, just simply say, thank you for letting me know what your ideal referral is. Why don't we get together for a cup of coffee and I can find out who else would be an ideal referral for you. Now, I have found through experience the phone call will result in 6 out of 10 people willingly wanting to have a cup of coffee with you. All right, so keep that in mind when you're doing a birthday thing. Now, I want to go over the congratulation message. Again, it's very similar, all right, but you want to congratulate the individuals for the events. You go to notification, you scroll down to find any notification indicating the person starting a new thing, etc. And you got, like under Marissa, she's had 12 years at Adobe, so you can click on say congrats, and then when you say congrats, I'm just looking for my thing here to move the thing forward. All right, you got the generic one which says congrats on the new job, and I have my own. Again, it's my congratulations. Now, the reason you want to create your own is because they're getting a lot of the generic ones, but yours will stand out because yours is going to say, my congratulations, the greatest congratulation gift I can give you would be a referral. Please let me know who your ideal referral would be, and then click on send. That's important to do all that right away there. But anyway, with these 3 additional items, the endorsement, the birthday, and congratulation message, I get a 44% response rate. On average, my subscribers tell me that they get an average of 20 new prospects per month just doing these 3 things. And I know you can, because everybody that's on LinkedIn is on LinkedIn for one reason only, and that's to get referrals. And I'm sure you'll agree with me on that. Remember, everything I show you and it is all about building a relationship with an individual. That is critical and important. With the messages that I've just given you, these 3, you've just opened a door for them. And you've opened the door for them to bond with us again and again and again. So all the things I go over with you, it's to develop a bond with the prospect so that they're in a position to purchase from you. But here's some important tips. You're better off making sales, like I said earlier, than doing all these techniques for prospecting that I'm mentioning. You know, the connection messages, the meetup welcome messages, and LinkedIn endorsement, birthday congrat message. You really want to contemplate hiring a virtual assistant to do this for you, because to me, my time is more valuable elsewhere. But a VA spending a few hours a day will send LinkedIn connection messages out for you, send meetup welcome messages, send LinkedIn endorsements, birthdays, and congrat messages. And on top of everything, they can set up appointments for you. They can do a multitude of things that I'll go over in a second, but there's so much. But the benefits of using LinkedIn is that it is an inexpensive way of building your pipeline and building your community. You're going to get more prospective clients by joining groups and sending out new connections. All it takes is less than an hour a day to do all that I'm trying to tell you to do. But it's going to create a systematic way of doing lead generation, and it increases referrals from your new connections. According to my subscribers, by the way, they're getting up to 44% response rate just on those 3 messages that I just went over. So for example, if you send out 100 messages per month, you're going to get up to 44 prospects to present your product or services to. But what would it be worth for you to receive step-by-step instructions? All right, well, those of you who have heard about my coaching program, I'm going to be doing another format of delivering training content to you in the coming months. And on May 1st, I've got a target date to send you the first module for you to consider purchasing. And it's going to be very nominal. But if it was free, you wouldn't put a value on it. So I know it's going to be valuable training for you, and it's going to be all about creating customers and getting a lot more. But it'll be launching within the next couple of months. Like I said, we've set a target date for May 1st. But you could email me at kenppg@AOL, indicating you'd like to be one of the first notified of the upcoming launch of the new delivery platform. But I'm also going to be doing free webinars in the future on marketing ideas and business building techniques, topics, and how to create more customers, not just on LinkedIn, but all the other multiple social media things that are there. But it's easy to implement. You know, you might think you're overwhelmed right now because I'm giving you so much to do. But again, you need a virtual assistant to help you generate the prospects without you having to spend all the time doing it yourself. A VA creates prospects for you to present your product or services to. I use a virtual assistant now for many years now and found them to be very useful. In fact, every month I go over a stat to find out what my return on investment is. And for the last month, my return on investment was 322% return. In prior months, I've got 327% return. So that's what a VA talent does that results at the sales for you. But the VAs can help you grow your network by helping create and optimize your LinkedIn profile for searchability. They can send your connection messages, searching for and joining LinkedIn groups, posting interesting articles to your groups and on your status, sending appointments for you, managing your calendar, creating and sending out your newsletters. You should always contemplate a newsletter. Managing your contacts and email marketing. Even updating your website content and blog. Managing your social media marketing campaigns and accounts. And so much more, so much more. And what happens is, I'm going to ask John to come on here now. John's going to go over what you should be doing and some offer that he's going to make to you about having a VA do this. And you're going to see it's, so stay on till the end, and you'll see it's going to be very, very nominal. So John, if you could come on, that would be great.
Sure. Okay. Well, thanks, Ken. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my presentation here. Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining the call. It's a pleasure to be on the call with you, Ken, and with everybody here. You know, one of the just very quickly, you'll see my profile here about my background. I got a corporate background in human resources. Also had the virtual assistant company for since 2009, and so I've hired thousands of people here. I work in Silicon Valley. Hired and trained thousands of employees and hired and trained hundreds of virtual assistants. But it's kind of interesting. When I originally started the virtual assistant company, it wasn't something that I actually had planned to do. I actually got started out by working in a corporate business, working in human resources, working 55 plus hours a week. And at the same time, I wanted to get started in real estate investing. And I had attended some real estate investing seminars, and one of the seminars suggested hiring a virtual assistant to help prospect or find properties to purchase and to find people who might be interested in buying a house or selling a house. So what I did was I hired a virtual assistant, and there were certain daily activities that I had to do on a day-to-day basis in terms of running my business. So constant postings of Craigslist ads, trying to find property deals, trying to sell property deals. And my first few real estate deals that I did were actually the result of a virtual assistant. And part of that process, though, if you think about it, if you have a business, whether you're an insurance agent, real estate agent, or small business owner in general, there's certain activities that you have to do on a day-to-day basis. And part of what I do is I help business owners to grow their business without them having to put all their own time into it. And just kind of, if you take a look at your business model and think about what work needs to be done to run your business, what work needs to be done to grow your business, and thinking about, can it be done remotely or virtually, or is it something that you must do on your own? And the whole idea is to help you save your time, save money, and help you scale your business. That's really what it's all about. And if you look at what Ken showed you today, this is a particular process that is proven and that has worked. In fact, one of the LinkedIn techniques that I learned from Ken well over 4 years ago is something that we continue to do to this day, and it produces results for us. But when I started my real estate business back in 2006, one of the things that I looked at was what are the different activities that I had to do related to that business. And I mapped it out. I standardized the work. I put step by step, here's what a specific process that I need to do to generate leads for my business. At that time, it was repetitive postings of Craigslist ads indicating that I buy houses, or in this case, if going into my LinkedIn account and connecting with people who are going to be power partners, that means people who might be referring business to me, or people who might be prospects for my product or service, so joining LinkedIn groups of people who might be interested in my products or service. But those are kind of repetitive processes that are done. And then my next step would be I'd map out step by step, okay, here's what needs to be done from a standardized work, step by step, how you do that process. And basically, that's how you should kind of approach your business. I work for Toyota, and one of the first things, I work for a Toyota joint venture, and one of the first things when we went into our job and our position, we had to map out the standardized work or work steps for each task that we did. And that's how I'd like to think about with a virtual assistant is you map out the certain things that you need to do on a daily basis or weekly basis and monthly basis, and do those absolutely have to be done by you, or can you outsource that to somebody so that you spend your time interfacing with customers and closing deals. And with this particular process that Ken showed you today, this is just an example of something that he's found and that we've found that works, that can help you grow and scale your business. And it's something that, yes, you could do, or it's something that you can have a virtual assistant do. But it's something that works, it's proven, and it saves you time because there's actually a standard process that we found can already work for business owners. The whole thing about identifying different steps in your business that you can outsource is just to help you have a better work-life balance, more time with your family, a healthier lifestyle, less stress. I can tell you when I started my business, my real estate business back in 2005, 2006 timeframe, I was working a corporate job, working 55 hours a week in that corporate job, and then trying to have my real estate business and trying to post ads to Craigslist, trying to answer customer trying to answer inquiries about people trying to sell their properties. And I was probably getting only about 3 to 4 hours of sleep per day because I tried to do everything on my own. And that's just something that I'm really sensitive for business owners, people who want to grow their business, that just maintaining that healthy lifestyle, maintaining that time with your family, even though you have a dream to build that business and it takes a lot of hard work, but are there certain things that you can manage with not doing on your own? And that's why I love the power of the virtual assistant. A good book recommendation for everybody on the call is The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. And you might want to read that. It talks about lifestyle and looking at the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, and is there certain aspects of that lifestyle, whether related to business or personal tasks and responsibilities, that you can outsource and have a VA or a virtual assistant do that for you. And it's just amazing. It can help with saving you a lot of time. It can also help imagine in having a business, if when you wake up in the morning you see a bunch of leads in your inbox in LinkedIn, or if it's in Facebook, or if you have a virtual assistant that's helping generate traffic to your website, that work has been done for you, and you wake up with leads to follow up with. So the whole thing is about saving you time and scaling your business. And that's just what I love about the virtual assistant business. Is when I started my business, there's so many different things that I wanted to implement, so many things that I wanted to do. I wanted to build a website. In fact, when I first started my business, I built my own website, spent all my time doing that. But was that the best use of my time? Probably not. So when we talk about standardizing work, there's a lot of different things. If you think about your business, what you do, that you'd identify that process and think about, hey, could I outsource that to somebody? But that does take time. I can tell you, when I had the real estate business, I spent hours and hours working out step-by-step processes that I was going to have a virtual assistant to do. And it was a lot of upfront time and upfront work to do that. So I spent 5, 6, 7 hours mapping out different processes. But in the long run, it saved me time, because now on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, somebody could just continually do that process. But what I like about this here is we've already mapped out a process that a virtual assistant can do for you. And it's basically a standardized work activity. Here's what a VA can do, or here's what you can do, or here's what a VA can do. And this is the product or service that we've come up with to offer you today, which is if you like what you saw on the call, a VA can do this for you as a daily activity. It takes, for this one is a pretty simple activity. It's just going into your LinkedIn account and checking for your new connections, which ones are having birthdays, which ones have responded to the endorsements, and also which ones have upcoming special events that are coming up. And so the VA would log into your LinkedIn account. They would endorse your new connections. They'd then check your account for messages from your connections who thanked you for the endorsement, and then they reply back with a custom endorsement message. Then they check into your account for connection birthdays and send out custom birthday message that we went over today. They then check your account for connection events such as new jobs and job anniversaries and send the custom congrats message and notify you of positive responses for following up and showing interest in your products or services. So this really right here is just the step-by-step process that you could do in going into your account. And this could probably take you, if you go in on a daily basis, you look at it for a few minutes, 15 minutes here and there, and you can knock this out in a couple hours per week. But if you don't have the time to do that, or if you feel your time would be better spent doing other activities such as just following up with those that have showed interest in your products or services, we put this together as an offering where you can have a virtual assistant do this for you for $10 a week, $20 bi-weekly, or $40 a month. So we've offered that as a service. If you're interested in it, you can go to virtualassistanttalent.com/LinkedIn and select the endorsement, birthday, and congrats message add-on. So this is just a simple task that you can have a VA do if you've already got a number of connections. This is a great way to generate additional leads for your business. So on a previous call, Ken talked about the importance of or leverage building connections and building your network on LinkedIn. And when I look at building my connections on LinkedIn, really what I'm looking for, especially when I was in the real estate business, I'm looking for connecting with real estate agents. I'm also looking at connecting with other real estate investors that I can deal with. I'm also looking at possible potential referral partners, which might be insurance agents who are helping people insure their property. Insurance agents, real estate agents, work well together in referring business. I'm looking at power partners. And so when you look at your LinkedIn account, that's exactly what you're doing. You're building your connections. And we, on one of our previous calls, talked about building that network and building connections and communicating with those connections. And so there is another, if you go to the virtualassistanttalent.com, there is this LinkedIn starter package, which if you have your account and you don't have that many connections, you can actually have a VA do that. This is something that I have my VA do. In the beginning I was doing it on my own, but then found that a virtual assistant could do that. And so we've got a product where a VA can help you set up your LinkedIn account, help you optimize your profile. If your profile is incomplete, they can make your profile complete by just asking you a few questions, and then they'll do the work for you in setting up your profile. And then there's all these LinkedIn groups that you can join that are going to have prospects, for your business, or power partners or referral partners. And the VA on a daily basis, 5 days a week, can join 2 LinkedIn groups per day containing potential clients. So on a weekly basis, that would total to be 10 different groups. And then what the VA would do is continue to go in those groups and monitor and replace groups. So you'll see certain groups on LinkedIn have a lot of people active with doing postings, they're joining the groups, they're communicating, and they're responsive. And the VA can monitor those groups and replace groups if people aren't really interactive or not responding, or the group seems to be dead, they'll replace it with a better group. And then what the VA is going to do is on a daily basis send 25 connection messages per day. And Ken has a template that he uses for that. That's an effective template. And again, this is a thing that I've been using for over 4 years with Ken. Is sending out connection messages. So we send out 125 connection messages on a weekly basis, and then the VA goes in and monitors and notifies you of positive responses for follow-up action. So the grunt work piece of sending out the strategic connections the VA does, and then you come in and the VA sees a positive response. They'll notify you, hey, look, so-and-so is interested in your product or service, or so-and-so is looking for more information, and that way you can follow up with that person. So it saves you a lot of time with having somebody generate the lead, or this is something that you can do as well. Now, we did another webinar on this. Some of you might have been on that webinar before. We'll probably eventually do another webinar on it because, as you know, the LinkedIn platform changed back in November, December timeframe. And so we're always looking at how things change and modifying and updating it to make sure that it fits with the current system. So just a couple last points here, and then we're going to open it up for questions. As you look at you as a business owner, as an insurance agent, and looking at how you spend your time, one of the things I always like to do is to look at what's the best use of my time and the value of my time. And that really kind of helps me to identify in my business what work activities I'm going to do myself and which ones that I may want to outsource. And so if you look at, LinkedIn, how much is it your time worth versus hiring somebody else? Well, I look at, okay, here's the value of my time. And these are Bureau of Labor Statistics survey. So average insurance agent on the mid-level makes around $47,000 a year, some on the high end $119,000. So the value of that time, if you were going into LinkedIn and on an hourly basis, 1 hour per day, going into the LinkedIn account, here's what it would cost in terms of the value of your time. And then if you looked at, well, what if I had a marketing assistant do that for me? Well, marketing assistants are pretty highly paid as well. Here's how much it would cost if you hire a marketing assistant, and here's if you hire a local office worker based on the average admin assistant how much it would cost for having them to do it for you. And the virtual assistant, especially if you're a small business owner, on a tighter budget, there's a huge benefit in having them do that work for you. So this is, again, this is a program we promoted last time, but if you don't have very many connections in your account, you can have a VA do that for you. And if you just go to our website, there's a promotion. So you go to virtualassistanttalent.com/LinkedIn, and we have a promotion program to do the whole startup package, to do not only just the 3 techniques that Ken showed you on this webinar, but also building your LinkedIn account. And there's a promo code. There's flexible plans. You can set up a weekly plan, $44 a week, bi-weekly $88, and monthly $176. This is with the discount applied, and that's a more involved program than just the 3 techniques that we showed today, because this is really building your LinkedIn account and building your connections. So here's our information. If you're interested in the services, just go to virtualassistanttalent.com/LinkedIn. And if you have any questions about it, give us a call, 510-400-8006. Our services aren't limited to just LinkedIn. As Ken mentioned, VAs can really do all different kinds of things for you. And so for any type of business, we can customize a plan for you. For example, any non-technical VAs, which might be someone to do admin assistant work for you, social media, content research, data entry, or like telemarketing for lead generation. VAs start at $8.20 an hour for that type of task, and you can work with us in terms of whatever number of hours a week that you need the VA to work. We can come up with 10 hours, 15, 20, 40 hours, or just a project-based type package for you. And some people ask, well, how do I communicate with the VA? We set up the VA with a calling plan. Or how does a VA get into my account? We use a IP address hiding program so that the virtual assistant can log in as if they're logging in a local area. There's some things with Facebook and LinkedIn that tries to prevent people from other countries from logging into your account. So we have a workaround with that. Also, how do we know that the virtual assistant is working? We use a screen capturing program to track the VA's time so that we know when people are working remotely. If you need a website built or website maintenance done or graphics or programming, generally we do that starting at $11.20 an hour. I can tell you, living here in Silicon Valley, some of the companies that in my corporate background, they're charging upwards to $100 an hour to make changes to the website. With a virtual assistant, you can do that as low as $11.20 an hour. So a lot of power that you can leverage as a business owner. And so we offer these prepaid hourly plans as well. So anyway, the message I was trying to deliver with this is just the whole power of a virtual assistant. It certainly helped me out as a business owner, and I'm all about trying to help people save time and money through the virtual assistant. It certainly helped me from going to a 2 to 4 hour sleep day to what I'm attempting with my business, more of a 4-hour work week in terms of managing and maintaining my business. So we're going to open it up for questions. And everybody is going to also get a copy of this recording. But for questions, there is a couple ways that you can ask a question. And the first way is there's a little question link here that you can click if you have a question. We're going to go through this. And then if you also want to raise your hand, we can take you off mute, and then you can actually verbally speak and ask your question as well. So we already have some questions coming in here. And so let me go through those. Okay. So here is a question from Scott. Scott's asking, when growing your network and adding new connections, should you be focusing on people who are geographically close to you, and how best to do that? So that's from Scott.
All right, let me answer that, okay, John?
Sure.
All right, I would definitely concentrate on individuals that are geographically close to you. But if you have a non-resident license in other states, then you definitely want to add individuals outside your geographical area. There's some insurance companies that are allow you to write applications over the internet, and so Scott, what I would suggest is to start with individuals geographically close to you and go from there, because there's surely a lot of prospects in each state that you could handle. So I hope that answered your first question. Your second question is, your messages speak to providing a referral. What if some of your connections are not in sales? They don't have to be. Again, all you're asking is for referrals. If you want, you could just simply say, change the referral section, to let me know who your ideal referral would be, to just tell me a little bit about yourself. All right, so I hope that takes care of that. And for Catherine, there will be a recording of it, and you'll be able to, as the screen come up, you'll be able to print up each of the screens when you're there. And you want me to continue, John, by the way?
Yeah, and just so for Catherine, that'll be by probably Monday, Tuesday of next week, you'll get a email with a link to the recording, so you'll be able to access that.
Yeah, and Sam asked the same question. He had to leave the webinar. So Sam, you'll be getting the link also. From Victor, do these VAs work with you over the web or chat, and where are they located? John, you could handle that one.
Sure, okay. Yeah, so Victor, thanks for the question on that. So the virtual assistants that I work with are based out of the Philippines, and the way that we communicate with the virtual assistants in the Philippines is typically it's over Skype. So Skype, I set them up with a Skype US and Canada calling plan, or wherever the client's located. If it's in the UK or Canada or a different country, we set them up with a calling plan there, so they can communicate with the client via telephone or Skype. You can do a Skype video call, or you can do just a Skype to Skype call. And so they're located in the Philippines, but very easy to communicate with, because we set them up with a calling plan. If somebody purchases one of the packages, that's included. So you can communicate with the virtual assistant. And also, it's up to you when you want the virtual assistant to work. If you're Eastern Standard Time, Central Time, the VAs can work whatever schedule that you require them to work, so that it's easy to communicate with the virtual assistant. So I hope that answers your question. But yeah, they're based out of Philippines, and that's where my network is. And this is kind of, are the VAs bilingual? It's my understanding. Okay, so are the VAs bilingual? Yes, they are. So that's one of the reasons why we like working in the Philippines, is because in the schooling system they learn English, and especially if you want to leverage a VA to do lead generation of phone calls, we work with VAs that sound good on the phone. If it's a web design VA, they may not sound as great on the phone, but you can certainly communicate with them. So here's another question. It's my understanding that LinkedIn does not approve another party to log in and create profiles and edit an account. Is that true? So here's what it is the VA is really considered to be your personal assistant. So just as if you were an executive here and you have a executive assistant logging into your account, or helping you out in your business, CEOs always have people screen their emails, possibly even respond to emails, or looking into their account. That's the same concept with the virtual assistant. And so what we do is we set them up with what's called a IP address hiding program, or a program that basically they log into. And if you're located, let's say you're located in New York City, they'd log into this special program, and it shows as if they're logging in from New York City. Usually the first couple times there may be a validation code that LinkedIn sends to you that the virtual assistant has to type into the account, but once they're set up with the IP address hiding program or masking program, the VA is able to access your account. And that's how I've had a virtual assistant, working in my LinkedIn account for the past 4 years, and the same thing with Ken as well, with his virtual assistant accessing his account. So, okay, let's see. All right, let's see if we have any other questions.
Just click on raise your hand, and we'll unmute you, and you can ask a question.
Okay, let's see, Jody. Okay, yep. You're welcome, Jody. Okay, and then Pavlos, can we have a copy of the presentation, please? So we're going to be setting out a recording of the webinar, and that'll go out sometime Monday or Tuesday, Pablo, so that you'll have access to the presentation. All right.
Okay, since nobody's raising their hand, I want to thank all of you for being on this webinar, and I look forward to helping you in the future with various ideas for creating customers. And I appreciate any communication you have. If you could send me an email to kenpbg@AOL and let me know what you think of this webinar. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, all right, well, thank you so much, Ken, and thank you also, everybody, for being on the call. Appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.